Konami Studios. Iron Man issue number 5. The current best book in Marvel, if you ask me. This has just been great. Everything about it has been absolutely perfect. This book is no exception to that. Like, this was such a good, solid kind of like end of an arc of this like beginning of the Korvac saga shit, whatever is coming up. It was really creepy, really good, really intense. I'm loving Cantwell, I'm loving Cafu. This team was just perfect for each other. I love it so much. I really like this book, man. So we open up this book and we see that Tony and Patsy are kind of like in this room. Patsy's still kind of winded from what happened to her in the last issue. And he's like, hey, are you okay? Like, it's a good thing you're like a cat because you got 9 lives, right? And he's like, well, I want you to relax and get comfortable here. You're going to rest up because we're going to need you later. Until then, I'm going to go talk to the other recruits. So he leaves the room and he's like, all right, I didn't have a lot of time to put a team together, but you're the best I come up with. And who we got here? We got Gargoyle. You guys remember Gargoyle? Probably only Cantwell did. There's Scarlet Spider. Ben Reilly's here for some reason. Misty Knight, which I'm like, short notice and you got Misty Knight? That's pretty good, I gotta say. Good for her. Good for you, Tony. Misty Knight's a pretty good get for short notice. And Frogman is here. So it's like, hey, that's fun. Look at all these cool characters that I think all have action figures now except for Gargoyle. That's fun. You could put this team together, you know? That's fun. That's cool. So we see Tony is just like, all right, here's what's about to happen. Halcyon here, who's the guy we saw in the last issue, like the deaf guy who can like understand machines and stuff. Here's what we're going to do. We got to figure out how we're going to get roads safe without like people knowing about what we're doing here. And it's kind of interesting. So Korvac is back. You guys remember Korvac? He like killed every Avenger at one point. He like almost eradicated. He almost killed everyone. Everyone almost died because of Korvac. He's a creepy guy. A lot of shit happened. Well, now he's not an omnipotent god. He's just a robot, but he has like almost the same energy as the sun. So we got to stop him from like doing whatever he's about to do. And he wants to take over the world again and like destroy the universe and everything. And the best we can do that is the same way he had the power earlier of the sun by getting it from the TIE 2, which is the ship that Galactus came to this world. And so he wants to go get the power cosmic from Galactus. And we have to figure out how to stop him from doing that. And the best way we could do that is using Halcyon here because he understands machines and engines, and he could probably stop us from getting to the TIE 2 and all that stuff. So that's what we're doing here. That's what this team is for. You're here to help me figure out how we could stop Korvac from destroying the universe. What a great team to do that with. And even Ben Reilly, who's just like, do we even have a chance at winning this? And Tony's like, I don't know. My best answer is maybe. Like, I've stopped Korvac before, so maybe we do. Misty is kind of getting snippy with him, like, you know, I will do this to save Rhodey, but I don't give a shit about you, Stark. So just don't be an asshole anymore. And he's like, look, I have enough shit from everyone else. I don't need to hear this from you guys, you D-list motherfuckers. So I'm gonna go do the rest of the shit I have to do. So goodbye. I'll see you in a bit when we get the plan in order. Cut to a warehouse in the Bronx, and we see Korvac is shaving off the goatee that Rhodey was making fun of in the last issue. And there's a nice little moment. You see like the carrier that they're going to take to get into space. And Rhodey's tied to, he's like, huh, well, I guess you finally listened to me. And it's just a nice little moment where like they're about to take off. And Korvac's like, I just got something I need to do first. Give me an hour and I'll get it all sorted out. So we cut back to Patsy and she's kind of freaking out. And it's like intercut between like a flashback she's having about something in, I think it's like, is this before she died the one time? I don't know, but it's like electro conversion therapy where it's like shocking her into like getting better. And you can see, like, yeah, that would affect her mind and do crazy stuff to her. But now that she's got another voice in her head, she's, like, hearing this idea of Korvac again. So she's kind of, like, walking down the streets, like, randomly in this rain. And she just doesn't know how she got there or why she's there now. But she's in this area, and she is seeing Korvac in front of her. And they're just like, look at you. Look at what you've done. You've done all this good stuff for me there, Patsy. It's great to have you back. And she's like, oh, just shut up. And she wants to punch him, but she hits an electric box and she like electrocutes herself when she's on the ground, and she's like suffering and dying again. And it's very intense and scary. You're like, this is really freaky. You're really putting Patsy through the ringer here, which I think is a cool idea because there's not much to Patsy. I like her a lot. I think she's a great character, but there isn't like a lot to her. So I get why you do this. I don't think there's anything bad about doing this. I'm okay with it. It's just really intense. Like, she's gotten injured, I think, in every issue pretty much of this book. At least the majority of them. At least 3 of the issues, she's been beaten up pretty bad. So we get some narration from Tony. He's like, we don't really know what he's doing yet, but we see he's like standing on the side of it, and he's like, you know what? Maybe Korvac is right about the universe, and he actually can save it, and he does know better than I do, or he knows better than anybody. Like, we don't know if he does or not. Like, it's possible that he is in the right here. He has to figure that out. Like, well, what is the right idea here? I gotta know if it's true or not, what he wants to do with it. And I think that's a pretty cool angle to play. I really do, actually. It's kind of interesting. So we cut back to our D-list team, and they're all like, well, we see there's some energy coming from this warehouse signature somewhere, so maybe we should go out and investigate. That could potentially be, like, where the ship is they're going to take off into space. So as they're doing that, we learn that Tony was using Patsy as bait to, like, lure out Korvac. And now when he, like, comes back to save Patsy, she's, like, screaming, fire, fire, all I see is fire, this is my hell, everything about this sucks. And you're seeing Damon, like, I'm sorry, and, like, all this stuff, this is, like, help me, oh God. And you remember Damon Hellstrom, she was married to him for a bit there. You know, that cool stuff over that. You remember that great arc? I don't. So that's cool. I get that you remember stuff there, buddy, but it doesn't make it any better or worse. I don't know. It's okay. But she's like, her soul is dead. She's screaming like that she's dead, and this is her hell pretty much. And you see Tony is just like, oh, what am I doing? What did I do to you? And he just embraces her and hugs her like, I'm so sorry for everything I put you through here. And then we see that Tony does actually manage to find Korvac, and he like, they're in like a laundromat, and they're like, dude, I don't think you're in the right here to take over the universe, because there shouldn't be someone in control. But I like the idea too. Korvac's like, who do you think should pull it off then? You? Do you think you're a better candidate to take over the universe? And Tony is just, no, but it's not you either. So it's neither of us, man. Like, we're terrible people. And we see that our D-list team goes to check out the ship that supposedly is going to take off into space. But Korvac's like, oh, Tony, you're so smart. Yeah, you haven't studied any of these history books. Don't you know a plot when you see one? And then, boom, the warehouse blows up where all our D-list characters are in. And Tony's like, oh my God, Misty, is anybody there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is anybody there? So supposedly all of these characters just died. Patsy is kind of on the verge of death too. And Tony is just losing his mind too, and Korvac's like, oh, you're so funny. What a silly little boy you are. Look at you go. Oh, what a cute thing. Tony blasts him with a huge bolt. We see like part of his face get burnt off, Terminator style. And you're like, oh, Tony, you could have had it all. You could have been a great leader, but you're just a piece of shit. That's your fault. Look at this. Look what I will create because you are a failure, and it's going to be so beautiful. And that's where we end the book, and it's pretty intense, man. Like, you're really just messing up Tony Stark here. You're making him responsible for everything that happens to every character in this book. That's cool. You should do that. Do that fully, man. That shit's cool. Because of course Tony would be responsible. He's the guy that sends people to do everything. He's the one that put Patsy through all this shit. It makes sense that he's going to be responsible for the actions of every other character. I think that's a cool angle to play. I really like this book. I really encourage people to read it if you are hesitant and you don't like this idea for Tony Stark. I'm telling you now, this is a great place for Tony Stark post-MCU, post-Avengers Endgame, because it's finally like we are sending him into this place where all of his actions are going to be accounted for. He's no longer the brash billionaire. He is just a guy who's trying to figure out if he's depressed or not. And it's a really good story. I encourage you to read it. So, Iron Man issue number 5, I am going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.